Hello, hi everybody, good morning. Today, again, I wanted to speak something about forest fires, which is very important for all of us to understand how they affect the forests and the biodiversity in the forest. Basically, firstly, what I would like to say here is in my area, at least around the hills here, most of the times the forest fires are not even natural but man made, and that is actually a very big challenge that we face here every summer. Be it natural or man made, these forest fires are very common during these dry seasons like summer. And today, through this video, we'll see some of the methods how to tackle this issue and keep the forest safe. Firstly, let's understand how natural forest fires occur. Generally, during the summer and the dry seasons, when the temperatures are really high and the winds blow strongly, the trees, when they sway and rub each other here and there, there's a friction that creates the sparks of fire, and slowly the fire spreads over one tree to the other and eventually lighting up the whole forest. One best way to tackle the natural forest fires before they occur is that you regularly keep a track of what's happening around in the forest by patrolling every day, and keep also an eye on the areas and pockets where the wind blows strongly and the vegetation is spread out in the area. But in case they start occurring in random places, it's a very good step to be well prepared with good equipment and a team to tackle the forest fire. But however, in case there's a forest fire that had already occurred and likely to spread in the next few hours, the best method and the very first thing that you need to do is call the firefighters and also see if the place of the forest fire is accessible with the equipment that we need to use to seize the fire. But most of the times it gets challenging because the places are not very accessible, and it's very hard for the firefighting team to reach the spot and also fight the fire. So in those cases it gets quite challenging and leaves us with very few options. Like what you could really do is probably call a helicopter and start moving to different parts of the fire area and around the circumference of the fire, wherever you see the forest fire spreading, the helicopters could probably start pouring water from the above and contain the fire over the circumference of the fire in the forest. Now, speaking about man-made forest fires, they could occur by various activities. For example, in campsites like these, what you see is when people come and camp and sometimes leave the fire burning and throwing away cigarette stubs or any other burning material in the grassy areas and bushes. And for example, in this particular area, there are a lot of dry pine needles, which is very prone to catching fire. So even if you are camping in the wilderness, like in these kind of areas, it is very essential for you to first clear away the area where you put the fire, and also be attentive about the fire until the fire is completely burnt off. Please do not leave the place. Now, if you really look into the issue and question why people light up the dry pine needles here in the forest, is that the pine needles doesn't really allow the fresh grass to grow in the coming months when the monsoon rains happen. And for them, the grass is very important because most of the people here either have cattle or sheep and goats. So for them, these mountains and the forests turn into grazing grounds, and during that time, the grass is really essential for them to keep the cattle and sheep and goats alive. So for that reason, no matter what, when the summer comes and the dry pine needles fall off on the ground, they eventually burn them. But what, in my view and opinion, I feel is that this is not really a best method to tackle one other issue, uh, because it causes another new issue. So, how do we look into this problem, which is very sensitive, is very important, and spread awareness among people is very important. So through this video, let's see how do we tackle this issue in case if there's a forest fire that happens around your area or maybe anywhere around the forest. Okay, now let me show you a small demonstration about how to contain and seize wildfires when you come across some wildfires in the forest. First thing is, if possible, please try to gather up few people as a team and spread across the forest wherever you see the fire happening. And one simple step that you can follow is, as you spread across the fire in the forest, first go to one place and let's say, for example, here is where the fire is burning. Just move 3 or 4 feet away from the fire and start scraping off the dry pines and other dry stuff or dry leaves wherever you see that the fire can potentially catch up there, and start scraping off and do it for another 4 to 5 feet away from the fire so that the fire doesn't spread from there. Now what you can do is, like, as all of your team members spread out across the fire in the forest, just make sure that the fire which is within the circumference of this circle burns off completely. And one thing what you need to keep in mind is check the direction of the wind so that the wind doesn't take sparks of fire from here and take it to the other side where there are more dry leaves. So once you are able to do this and make sure that the fire within this circle is just burning, it will slowly die off in a while. So while you perform this task, it's very essential for you to keep some things in mind, like safety measures that you need to take care around the wildfires, which is when the wildfires in the forest occur and you are trying to seize the fire, there is a lot of harmful gases like carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide that are released into the air. So in case if you feel suffocated or short of oxygen, what you need to do is just move away from the fire, like about few meters away from the fire, and take enough oxygen and feel stable enough to go back into action and continue your work. But also keep a track of other team members around you so that in case somebody was not able to call in danger, you will be aware that somebody is not feeling well. So this is very essential for you to keep in mind while you go into the task of seizing the wildfires. Thank you.